All right, hi everyone. My name is Noor Oswad, and I'm going to be presenting you guys on the topic of Mendelian genetics from my Biology 182 class. So for this assignment, I assessed one news article and one primary journal article. So the news article is called Identical Twin Studies Aren't Always Genetically Identical, Study Finds. And the primary journal article is Differences Between Germline Genomes of Monozygotic Twins. So to start off with the news article, it basically starts off by saying identical twins are not as identical as we thought. So for the longest time, scientists have been studying the effect of nature versus nurture. So basically genetics versus environments. And there's been a lot of experiments trying to assess it, especially in monozygotic twins. So they're saying, hey, how similar and different are monozygotic twins that were raised together or raised separately? And it all comes down to nature versus nurture. So they're talking about a 4-year study, and it talks about the genetic differences between the genomes of these monozygotic twins. And so the research proved that some twin models underestimate genetic effects and require revision. So basically, they're saying a lot of these twin models are focusing more on the environmental factor rather than the genetic factor of the monozygotic twins. So accuracy of the news article. The news article is published by CNN, and CNN is known to be a credible news source, but many people would say that CNN, quote, leans left. However, I believe that this is not important in this situation because the author, Leanne Colirin, simply just reports on the findings from the research instead of creating a claim on the topic. Therefore, the article was not biased. And this news article directly cites the primary literature source, and the data is taken directly from that source, and the information presented is relevant and up to date. And in addition to that, the author, Colirin, interviewed Stefansson, which is one of the authors from the journal article, and gets quotes from him just to get better interpretations of the research as a whole. So the primary literature article, basically they start off by sequencing the genomes of 49,962 individuals. And they found that monozygotic twins on average by 5.2 early developmental mutations, and that approximately 15% of the monozygotic twins that they studied have these early developmental mutations, but these mutations are specific to only one twin. So their results indicate that the clump and the allocations of the cells during these developmental stages creates those genomic differences between the monozygotic twins. And they displayed their data in various ways, but I will show a few examples later on. They showed their third generation pedigrees. They showed tables and bar graphs of the classification of mutations and how these mutations were transmitted to offsprings. And then they also showed the prezygotic and postzygotic mutations within these monozygotic twins. So basically, they observed if these mutations were shared between the twins or individuals in the family and how they all relate to one another. And basically, they discovered that the genetic differences in identical twins at the early stage of the embryonic development. And then, like I said earlier, they found 15%. One sibling carried higher number of these mutations that the other twin did not have. Like I said, it's specific to one twin. So what they did is they studied the effects of the mutations in the identical twins, their parents, their spouses, and their children's. So at the end, they emphasized that not all dissimilarities between these monozygotic twins are due to environmental factors. And like I stated previously from the news article, the research team states that the role of genetic factors in monozygotic twins has been severely underestimated. Like I said, they've been focusing mostly on environmental factors. So these are a few figures. On the left, it's a figure on classifying mutations from maternal and paternal origins, and then they also show the relative frequency of the trio mutations. And then on the right, they show a third generation pedigree, and they show the sibling sharing rate of these mutations in monozygotic triplets. And these are my references. The first one is the primary journal article, and the second one is the CNN article. And then these are my credits. I'm in Biology Lab 182 with Mac. This is my second semester of biology. I'm in the Tuesday lab at 1:30. This presentation was written by me, Noor Oswad, and the voiceover was also conducted by me. And thank you guys so much for watching, and I hope you enjoyed.